All the online dating advice you see online says the same thing. No group pics as your first pic, no pics with women, smile in your pics, and a few other things that I'll go over in this video. I've been running dating profiles for years with good results and have actual data showing that most common dating app tips are wrong. Some of it from the dating apps themselves, some from hundreds of guys I've helped, and some from my actual experience. With that said, here are 7 pieces of common dating advice you should probably ignore. So you might be wondering who I am and why you should listen to me, which is a good question. By the way, if you already know I'm legit, just skip to the next section. But I actually get results on dating apps, so you can see some matches here, some conversations that are leading to dates, and then people who listen to me also get good results, as you can see here, here, and here. With that said, here is lie number 1. No group photo as your first photo. So people will often say your first pic should only have you in it, since it might be confusing who's who. And actually, this kind of surprised me. What I did was I spent $50 on the Bumble Premium Plus plan. So if you subscribe to Bumble Premium Plus, there's this feature called Photo Insights where it'll tell you which of your pics are the most liked on Bumble by chicks, and it'll rank them, right, from let's say 1 to 6. And so you can see here, Bumble says that my most liked pic is a group photo, which I'll show you in a second. So it's this one right here. So I'm guessing it works because if I'm in a pic with girls in it, right, it shows that I'm at least cool enough to hang out with girls, right? So girls on the apps might be like, oh, you know, if he's hanging out with these girls, maybe I can hang out with him too. Like, he's not a total weirdo. And then on top of that, the girls in this pic are somewhat attractive, I'd like to think. You know, this one, she got some nice titties, you know what I'm saying? And by titties, I mean AI titties, since I made this pic with AI. And by the way, if you want this exact pic for yourself with you in it instead of me right here, check the link in the pinned comment to get the 𝗏GPT app, which will just make AI pics for you that you can use on dating apps and social media. Once you sign up, just upload 5 photos of yourself like I have here, and then go to starter pack here and just hit generate. Once it's done, you can just download the pic here, or if you want to try regenerating to remake the pic, you just click regenerate over here and then download the new one. So lie number 2 that you see people say is no photos with women. So I think the reasons that people say this are women will think that the women in your pic is potentially your girlfriend or your ex-girlfriend. I think that's not an issue if it's more than you and just one woman in the pic, right? So for example, in this pic, it's like a group photo. So it's not like me and just one girl, which would be a little bit ambiguous as to whether or not I'm dating her. And then another reason that you might see thrown around is you look like too much of a fuckboy, too much of a douchebag, etc., etc. So I showed this picture to a girl actually in real life, and she's like, oh yeah, you know, you should definitely get rid of that pic, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you can see the results. It's very popular. And as you saw before, I get a lot of matches. So clearly I'm doing something right. And then someone in the 𝗏GPT school group, he had the same experience. So he sent me this message. He's saying that one of his female friends saw his group photo on the dating app and told him to delete it. But the same guy, his likes counter maxed out after half a day. And, you know, he's getting a lot of matches, setting up dates, which was not the case for him before. So here it's a classic case of watch what they do, not what they say. And by the way, if you want to join the school community, I'll also leave it in the pinned comment as the second link. So lie number 3, smile in your pics. So even dating apps themselves, such as Bumble here, they say on their site that you should smile. So someone from the 𝗏GPT school community, he actually changed all his photos so only 1 is smiling and then 5 are smirking or neutral, and he's getting better results. So obviously it's okay to smile a bit. Like maybe you'll have one smiling pic like the guy that I showed you from the ChatGPT community. So let's just say it's a pic where, you know, you're out with your friends or you're playing with a dog. A smiling pic would make sense in those situations, right? But you don't want to have like all smiling pics where you look kind of like this, and you know, no hate to this guy, just found his pic on the internet. But if you just have all pics like this where you're just super nice guy looking, it's definitely not a good idea, because you're just gonna not get swiped on because you just seem like too much of a nice guy, you know, friend zone, gay best friend kind of vibe. So lie number 4 is no sunglasses. So I guess the common advice would be people want to see your eyes. And I was actually surprised by this one because I also have the Bumble photo insights for this, but with an older profile that I was running, my 2 most popular photos, I was wearing sunglasses, which I thought was surprising. So with this profile, you wouldn't even see me without sunglasses until the 3rd pic. And then in total, I have 3 pics with sunglasses. So clearly the whole no sunglasses advice is wrong. All right, so if you look at this article here, it says that shirtless pics are bad and women rate shirtless men to be lower in appeal and less confident. But this is another case of watch what they do, not what they say. So back in the day on Hinge, I was running this pic here. And I was getting a shit ton of matches. So some examples here, 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 here. And you can see in this screenshot, the girl actually liked that exact photo. Now, obviously, if you want to use a shirtless photo, you got to be in shape, right? And by in shape, I mean have abs, because that's mainly what chicks care about. So lie number 6 that you see repeated a lot is look at the camera. So this is from GQ, which is supposed to be a men's magazine. And in an article they wrote, they said that in your first few photos, you should not be looking away from the camera. You're setting yourself up to fail. And some quote unquote dating coach says that your first photo should be a close-up, high-quality photo where ideally you'll be looking at the camera. Because if you're looking at the camera, it feels like you're looking at that person, blah, blah, blah. But you saw this shirtless pic I was using. On top of it being shirtless, I'm obviously not looking at the camera. But you saw that it was getting lots of matches. And on top of that, girls were actually liking this specific picture. All right, so lie number 7 is that you need a good profile like bio, prompts, etc. So this is an article from the Wall Street Journal, which is a very big newspaper in America. And then it's saying when you write a dating profile to avoid cliches. So that's another way of saying be unique, be specific. In this Reddit post, someone's asking for advice on how to build a profile. And then people are saying that they should fill out all the basic info and prompts, using them to show personality. But yeah, basically TLDR is that you'll see a lot of advice saying you gotta really put effort into your bio, your prompts, all that kind of stuff. And I'm about to prove that wrong right now. All right, so in this dating profile, I don't even have a bio and I don't have any prompts. It's very basic, just like height, fact that I work out, sometimes drink, whatever. You know, pretty much no effort, right? And let me zoom in case you can't see that. And then maybe just some languages I speak, but that's about it. I would argue that if you're trying really hard with your bio and prompts, you kind of seem like a loser, like try hard, because I mean, if you look at girls' dating profiles, especially the hot ones, they generally put 0 effort into it. And the first thing you see when you're swiping on dating apps is a picture, right? Not a wall of text. Really, what matters is you do what works, which is number 1, look good, and number 2, have good pics like these. If you don't have those 2 things out, you might as well just delete all the apps and buy a fleshlight or something, because you know it's game over. You see, most of the dating advice you see online is trash, and I know because I wasted years of my life listening to that shit. It's usually from clueless people who are talking out of their ass, or just people who are good at marketing and online business as opposed to dating, which I would say describes most like dating coach types that you see online. But yeah, if you want to get pictures for online dating and social media that work and are easy to make, go to the first link in the pinned comment. And then if you want to learn everything I know about dating, because I clearly know what I'm talking about, go to the second link in the pinned comment. And if you like the vid, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I will see you next time.